It feels like I've been away from the forest for a bit too long. Projects and different ideas that take a lot of time, deadlines that need to be met. It can be really easy to get caught up in the busyness of life. And after a while, I start to feel a little disconnected from the very thing that inspires me to create my art. So it's good to get back out there, experience these wild places, and listen to the sounds of nature. Slowing myself down a little and taking in everything the forest has to offer. And hopefully seeing some wildlife in the process. I really like this time of year in Manitoba. Fall is over and winter is only just getting started. It's not too cold just yet, and there isn't a lot of snow on the ground. The forest has a stillness to it that you don't get at any other time of year. Sometimes I like to find a spot in the forest that's off the main trail where I can sit and do some sketching. This really helps me slow down and pay attention to what's going on around me. I can sometimes get distracted by having the goal of getting all kinds of reference material that I want to paint from. But then sometimes I miss the opportunity to let nature speak to me in the calming way that only nature can. Most of the time I really want to stay glued to the easel to try and get as much done as I possibly can. But there is something to be said about staying familiar with the things I want to paint. So when it's been a while and the pressures of life pile up, I like to give myself that opportunity to have that connection again by being out in the forest and reconnecting with wildlife and nature. I talk a lot about the technical side of art, trying to depict animals in a very realistic way. And all of those skills are very important, and it takes a lot of time and practice to get there. But there's an equally important part to my art, and it's this: getting out into nature and feeling the emotional impact of an incredible wildlife encounter. I find that my art gets better the more emotion I can put into my paintings as I draw on the experiences I have out in nature. Wildlife can sometimes be a difficult subject to see, and there's been many times I've gone out and haven't seen anything. It can take a lot of patience and effort just to get a glimpse of an animal. But then that often makes the moments that I do see something, where I get to have this incredible encounter with a wild animal, that much more meaningful. I've spent days searching for something only to have it show up when I least expected it. And it takes me in a completely different direction than I had planned. But that's okay, because art is about exploration and discovery, trial and error, learning and growing. Some of my most favorite paintings I've done came from experiences that completely surprise me. Whether it's a wild animal or an interesting background, it can even be something close to home that I've seen over and over again. But then one day the colors might be different, or the sunlight hits it at just the right angle and you see this very familiar scene in a completely new way. I love those moments of inspiration. So this is where so much of my art has started. I've loved nature and wildlife since I began drawing and painting when I was young. Feeling that connection with nature and taking those experiences and trying to put them together in a piece of art that best represents what I've seen and felt. So it's good to continually reconnect with the things that inspire me. It gives me so much creative energy that it's important to keep that at the front of my mind. It reminds me why I'm doing this in the first place. So after a day out in nature, it's time to get back to the easel and see where that inspiration takes me.